Now, Nissan Skylines have been around for a long time. 1957 was the first integration of the Skyline nameplate, and they've carried it through basically up until now. So, you know, we've had all the Skylines, there's been a Skyline of something all the way until now, basically. I believe the last one they were using it on was the Infiniti Q50. I'm not sure if they're still making those now with the whole woke EV movement. Maybe that has actually kicked the bucket as well, unfortunately. But yeah, they've been making these for a long time. The Skylines that you and me would be familiar with, R32, R33, R34, excuse me. I had to do it. They've been around since 1989 until about 2002. And yeah, just the 32 started it all, the 33 carried through, and the 34 really ended the game. You know, obviously we had the R35, the GTR, minus the Skyline name, and that's a fantastic vehicle as well. But, you know, for the people who are real fanatics of these things, you know, when they lost Godzilla, they lost the RB engine, that was kind of the end of the Skyline GTR. Now this particular one, again, this is a 1999 R34 GTT. So basically, what's the difference between a GTR 34 and a GTT 34? This doesn't have an RB26. It's got an RB25 Neo, so it's a 2.5 liter straight six single turbo. It's rear wheel drive, not all wheel drive, and it has a 5-speed manual, not a 6-speed manual. So essentially, it's kind of more of the dailyable version, I guess, not the hardcore race version. And, you know, there is a lot of other differences here as well, but power figures here, look, from factory, this RB is going to be pushing about 280 brake horsepower, and I believe about 250-ish pound-feet of torque. So, you know, it's still healthy. It's still healthy, this car. And the fact it's rear-wheel drive, you know, a lot of the drift scene preferred that. So, you know, you could drift these things if you wanted to. They've still got that RB tunability as well, these RB25s. You know, I've seen examples pushing well over 500 wheel horsepower, so they still got a lot of life in them. And the great thing was, a couple of years ago, you could have picked a car like this up for literally, you know, $10,000, $15,000 and saved a huge amount of money. You know, put a GTR body kit on it, you know, put 500 horsepower into it, and it was a really fun, cheap alternative. Now, it's not so cheap anymore. You know, it's still relatively cheap enough to modify these things, but yeah, if you're gonna buy one, prices have skyrocketed. And, you know, look, on car sales right now here in Australia, an R34 GTT is going to run you between $40,000 and $90,000. It's seriously getting close to six figures for a really well modified one. Clean example. It's crazy.
Now look, everyone, at the time of filming this R34 GTT, interest rates were still fairly low. Now we've had this whole craziness, this debacle, and obviously the price of cars has started to slowly go down. Today, you are going to be looking closer to 30 grand on the cheap scale for a nice R34 GTT, but still on the high end of a very well done, like I'm driving it today. You're going to be still looking between that like 50 to 70,000 Australian dollars. And who knows what the prices are going to be once this whole interest rate stuff settles down. But leave it in the comments what you think the future price predictions will be. Quickly, a big thanks to NextRide for loaning us this Skyline today. Link for them is in the description below.
And just getting into it a bit, you know. You know what I mean? This thing, it's easy to heel toe. Oh, it makes a nice pop out the back. A bit of flutter. It's not a rocket ship, but again, these things just have that charm, that character. It's what enthusiasts want from their car. You know it is. And again, just the looks of this. It looks absolutely beautiful, this car. This particular one, it does have a Nismo body kit on it. So, you know, you're really getting the full effect here when you see it. You know, the big wing in the back, just the lip up the front, the side skirts. It looks the business. And, you know, funny enough, just driving out here today in this car, the amount of people just waving, giving me the thumbs up. I actually did have a little bit of a exhaust rev off with a Maserati Gran Turismo on the way up here, and even he had to put the window down and appreciate this R34. Like, he absolutely loved it. That's the thing, you know, that's really, I feel like, what you're paying for when you get this car. It's pretty much like an iconic symbol now of just the car community, car enthusiasts. Everyone loves this thing, and it's going to be loved forever, I think. I think you can't beat around the bush as well that if Paul Walker, rest his beautiful soul, did not have this as his hero car, I don't know if this would have been the ultimate. You know, would have this been the ultimate car? I probably not, you know? But the fact that the first couple of, you know, Fast and Furious have been so iconic, the rest of them, I don't know, you know, 1, 2, 3, absolutely love them. But you guys can be the judge of the rest of them. It just made everyone growing up, especially in Too Fast, Too Furious, when he got the R34, you know, just fall in love with this thing. And the fact as well that it has been illegal to own one for so long in America, everybody wants it. It's like the forbidden fruit. They've seen it their whole childhood growing up. Paul Walker, you know, the mods, R34, GTR, street racing. It's just like, it's in the enthusiast petrol head's blood that they love this thing when they see it. And again, that is why these things are demanding the money they are, because a lot of American buyers are buying these things and basically holding them until they're able to import it. Because if you get a 1999 model like this one, it's going to be eligible for import in 2024. So that's only next year. 1 year away, guys. So, yeah, the price is going to go up again? Maybe. Now this particular one, it does have quite a few mods. Look, I'll leave a full detailed mods list in the description. I actually don't have a dyno sheet, so I'm not sure what it's pushing, but, you know, from me driving it, I would guess, you know, this thing's probably quite healthy and around the 350 kind of wheel horsepower mark, I would guess here. And, you know, we come around this real tight hairpin. Lovely pops out the back. Turbo builds nicely. And now, probably contrary to most people's opinions, even though I know 99% of you guys have probably never actually driven a GTR, but I actually prefer the way the GTSTs, the GTT like this drive just in normal conditions. You know, maybe if you're out on the track, yes, a GTR is, you know, going to win and be a lot faster to drive. But just in terms of just how the cars feel, how they drive on normal roads, I've always preferred the GTTs here because they just seem to build power a little bit more smoothly. They don't feel as heavy. Just a little bit more dailyable too. Just again, this is why these things chase what they do and are going to continue to chase what they do, because it's just character, it's charm, it's smiles the whole time you're in this thing, and anytime you drive this car anywhere, you get looks, you get waves, you get thumbs ups, because people legitimately think it's a GTR, number one, which, you know, people who know, they know it's not. It's a GTT, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like that takes anything away from these cars, because the GTT in its own right, the GTSTs, you know, they're amazingly fun cars, and a fraction of the price. Why wouldn't you? I would. I actually became, just a story for me, I actually was this close, like literally this close to buying a R33 GTST before I got my XR8 Ute. And I was arguing with the guy because he wanted 12 grand for it. I wanted to pay him 10, and it was low Ks, mint shape, you know, probably identical shape to this car. It had the bride seats as well. It was lovely, lovely car. And I just didn't want to pay him 12 grand. So, you know, silly me, if I had bought that car now, it would have been a $35,000 car, maybe even 40. It's, I think a lot of people are kicking themselves because, yeah, we had it very good here in Australia for a long time. And unfortunately, those days are gone. Now, if you guys are enjoying this type of content, please make sure you consider subscribing. Hit that big red button down below. Hit the like button. And, yeah, these Skylines, you know, these Nissans, they're just so much fun. They are. Like, even the GTTs, you know, GTSTs, they're just beautiful machines. And as much as people complain, whinge about the price, unfortunately, that's the market we're in, and yeah, they don't make cars like this anymore. So get one if you can, hold on to one if you got one. Yeah. Now we are going to do a 0 to 100 test in this car, and look, again, I don't think it's going to be astronomically quick, but in the interest of science, we will see a real world test of what this thing would probably get. So we are going to reset the draggy here, and yeah, build it up a bit. You really got to build that boost up to launch first, but you know, it's not that bad. You know, I'd say it's quick. It's not fast, it's quick. But let's have a look at the time. 0 to 100 was done in 6.1 seconds, and you know, again, for a car that's coming up to 25 years old, it's not half bad. You know what I mean? Like, it really isn't. And again, guys, I know I don't have a dyno sheet, but look at the mods description below. I've got a full mods list down there. Yeah, I mean, to me it feels like 300 wheel, maybe a little bit more. I believe it's running about 14 PSI. It's a healthy street number. It's a fun street car. And out on this back road, it is really fun. And to me, this really is just like the epitome of JDM. Like, it's hard to explain, because it's the feeling of when you visually see this car and then you get into it, you get to touch it, you drive it, like, you can feel the turbo spool, you can feel the boost loading, you can, you know, hear the pops and crackles out of the cannon exhaust out the back, you know, it resonates through your whole being, your fiber, like, to the soul. And it's almost like as soon as you step in this thing, you turn the key on, you hit a nice back road, you really become one with this car. And again, it might not be Godzilla, but it just picks you up. You cannot have a bad day in this car, I tell you. Like, it's responsive, it feels, you know, you feel like you're in control of this thing. It is just a joy. Smiles, you cannot help but smile. And to me, this is JDM. You know, it's not about doing a blisteringly fast speed or, you you know, putting crazy lap times down. To me, JDM is just having that smile, you know, having that connection to the car, making it personal. And this is it. Wow. Oh, it's so good. So much fun. This is JDM right here. Now guys, I honestly, coming into this video, thought I was gonna absolutely bag this thing out and say it's completely overpriced. And you know, when you think a couple of years ago, it still feels like it's overpriced, but I tell you what, driving this car today, it's absolutely changed my mind. And I'm honestly saying that from my heart here, because this thing just drove so well. The amount of attention it got, just the connection to when I was driving this, it was everything I hoped for. It actually was. And even this isn't a GTR. The GTT is still an amazing Skyline. And I honestly think this is the one you want to buy, because, you know, it's still 50 grand now for one of these like this, but the fact that you can drive this, not be absolutely paranoid that you're going to lose a house, and you know what I mean? And it's more usable. It's absolutely more usable. It's more reliable. I had just a blast driving this thing, and I honestly feel like the prices are about to go up even more. So if you're really actually serious about getting one, I think it's the time to do it, because of the rarity, the scarcity, and the demand. And people are going to be making these into, you know, GTR reps, basically. The demand is huge. Once you drive this car, you'll absolutely love it, like I did. So yeah, I want one. Unfortunately, it's not in the budget, but one day, guys. So hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below what you think, and yeah, hit the like button if you can. Subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.